Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another college basketball live stream as we are getting set for a matchup between the top two teams in the Missouri Valley Conference, Murray State and Belmont, getting set to do battle. We will preview this game momentarily. First of all, let's pray. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for looking upon us, Lord, and please look over these players, coaches, fans. Please keep everyone safe tonight, Lord, and please continue to look over us as well, Lord, as we ask and pray this in your name. Amen. Murray State and Belmont, top two teams in the Missouri Valley Conference. Belmont leading the conference at 9-2. Murray State just a game behind at 8-3. Murray State in a little bit of a funk, however. They started out 8-0 in conference play. They have dropped their last three in a row, trying to get out of that little funk they are in right now. First of two meetings with the Belmont Bruins this year. Meanwhile, Belmont coming in on a 6-game winning streak and winners of 7 of their last 8. The only loss in that span, a 1-point loss to Southern Illinois. Both of Belmont's losses in conference play have been by 1 point. Loss at home to Southern Illinois and an overtime loss at Indiana State. The two conference losses for Belmont by a combined 2 points. Murray State, as I said, meanwhile, started the season 8-0. They have dropped their last 3 games, so they're trying to right the ship tonight. Are the Murray State Racers. This is a Murray State team coming into this game. It is still a very good offensive team. They have 3 players that average in double figures. They put up a little bit north of 86 points a game, so a very powerful offensive team. Meanwhile, for Belmont, they put up a little over 82 a game. They've got 4 players averaging in double figures. As we are getting set for this one, let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight for both these teams. First, for the Racers of Murray State, they will send out this lineup, starting at 1 forward, number 8, J.J. Traynor, 6'9" senior out of Bardstown, Kentucky. Traynor on the season averaging 8.6 points a game. Up front as well for Murray State, number 13, Mason Miller. Miller, a 6'9" senior out of Germantown, Tennessee. Mason Miller on the season is averaging just shy of 7 points a game at 6.8 per contest. Another forward for Murray State, number 33, Frederick King. King, a 6'9" senior out of the Bahamas. King coming in third leading scorer on this Racers team at 13 points a game. At one guard for Murray State, number 9, Lane Taylor. Taylor, a 5'11" sophomore out of Farmington, Arkansas. Taylor on the season is averaging 8.6 points a game. And the other guard for Murray State, number 22, Javon Jackson. Javon Jackson, a 6'3" senior out of Houston, Texas. He is the leading scorer on the season for the Racers at 16.9 points a game. Murray State is coached by first-year head coach Ryan Miller. Starting lineups are as follows for the Belmont Bruins, coming in 19-3 on the season, 9-2, and the leaders in the Missouri Valley Conference. They line up this way. At one forward is number 11, Drew Charnowski, a 6'9" sophomore out of Burlington, Illinois. Charnowski coming in averaging 11 points at 11 points a game. Other forward for Belmont is number 12, Brigham Rogers. Rogers is a 6'9" junior out of Woodstock, Georgia. Rogers coming into this game averaging 7.7 points per contest. At one guard for Belmont, number 3, Isaiah West. West, a 6'2" junior out of Springfield, Tennessee. West coming in averaging just shy of 3 points a game. Excuse me. Another guard for Belmont is number 8, Tyler Lundblade. Lundblade is a 6'5 senior out of Dallas. Lundblade is Belmont's leading scorer on the season at 14.8 points a game. And the other guard for Belmont is number 10, Jabez Jenkins. Jenkins, a 6'4 freshman out of Covington, Georgia. The freshman for Belmont is averaging just shy of 10 points a game at 9.9 per contest. Belmont is coached by Casey Alexander. And this game just about to get underway, this Missouri Valley Conference contest. Two former Ohio Valley Conference rivals doing battle. Murray State and Belmont had their matchups over the years when they were both members of the Ohio Valley Conference, now doing battle as members of the Missouri Valley Conference. Getting set to tip this one off from Nashville at the Curb Events Center. This is one of 4 other games going on in the Missouri Valley Conference today. 3 of the others have gone final. Bradley Drake in Des Moines, that game has just gone final. And one other game in progress in the Missouri Valley. A lot of games in the top 25 today as well. Had a couple upsets in the top 25 as well. I'll tell you about those as the night goes on. So again, the starting lineups for both these teams as we await the tip-off. Murray State is going with Trainer, Miller, King, Taylor, and Jackson. For Belmont, they've got the lineup of Charnowski, Rogers, West, Lundblade, and Jenkins. Talking about those games around the Missouri Valley Conference. Bradley has just defeated Drake in Des Moines, 87-73. Other games from around the Valley today, Northern Iowa, 71-55 win over Evansville. And Valparaiso goes into Terre Haute and beats Indiana State 76-72 in overtime. And a game in progress, UIC and Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois leading that game by 11 at the half. And with then mentioned Bradley defeating Drake. So Bradley moves to 8-4 in conference play. So if Bradley can get a Belmont win over Murray State tonight, that would propel Bradley into a second place tie in the Valley with Murray State. Belmont, if they win this game tonight, would have a 2-game lead in the Valley. UIC and Illinois State sitting there at 7-4. So just about set to get underway from the Curb Event Center in Nashville. Told you in the top 25 we had a couple upsets. One of the upsets in the top 25 today was out in Orlando as number 11 Texas Tech went down today to UCF. 88-80 the final in that one. Number 15 Arkansas trailing at home to Kentucky at the half. John Calipari going up against his former team and trailing 42-35 at halftime. Two undefeated teams remaining in college basketball. Number 1, Arizona, and number 24, Miami of Ohio. And number 1, Arizona State undefeated as they defeated Arizona State earlier today, 87-74. Arizona moves to 22-0. And Miami of Ohio this week at number 24. That was a close game with about 10 minutes left in the game, but then Miami of Ohio went on a big run and put away Northern Illinois 85-61. So both Arizona and Miami of Ohio remain undefeated as both teams go to 22-0. A big crowd at the Curb Event Center in Nashville for this Missouri Valley Conference contest. Murray State and Belmont. Belmont looking for win number 20 on the season. Murray State trying to avoid a 4th consecutive loss. As I said, Belmont with a win in this game would take a 2-game lead in the conference standings. Murray State, if they can get this win tonight, would tie Belmont atop the standings. This is the first of 2 meetings between these two teams. These two teams will meet again in Murray, Kentucky, 2 weeks from tomorrow. As we will be down to 8 conference games remaining following this weekend. Missouri Valley Tournament and St. Louis Arch Madness, usually always one of the first tournaments to tip off, as their tournament finishes right when the other tournaments get going. So the Missouri Valley Conference tournament champion always has quite a big layoff between the Missouri Valley Conference tournament and the NCAA tournament. Other top 25 games today, as this tip-off has been pushed back a little bit. So I'm sure due to the length of the prior game, they pushed tip-off back in this one a little bit. Top 25 scores for you. Told you number 1, Arizona State undefeated. They defeated Arizona State 87-74. Number 2, UConn on the road in Omaha tonight against Creighton. Creighton at this point is fighting for their at-large lives. This is a game they probably have to have tonight at home against UConn. Number 4, Duke goes into Blacksburg and beats Virginia Tech 72-58. Number 6, Gonzaga in action later on tonight at home against St. Mary's. Boy, those are always battles. St. Mary's and Gonzaga usually every year battle for the West Coast Conference title. Number 10, Houston, no problem today with Cincinnati, 76-54. Told you number 11, Texas Tech goes down at UCF today, 88-80. Number 14, Kansas knocks off number 13, BYU, 90-82. Game was really not that close. Back-to-back losses this week for BYU. They nearly handed Arizona their first loss of the season earlier this week before falling by 3, and then they go to Allen Fieldhouse today and fall to Kansas. Told you Kentucky leading at number 15, Arkansas. They are underway in the second half in that game now. And Arkansas has actually come back to take the lead, 57-53 over Kentucky. Number 16, North Carolina, no problems today at Georgia Tech, 91-75. Number 17, Virginia, 73-66 win at Boston College. Number 18, Vanderbilt picks up a win over Ole Miss in a tight one, 71-68. Number 20, Louisville, 88-74 win over SMU. Good bounce back there for Louisville after getting pummeled at Duke the other night. Number 22, Clemson wins at home over Pitt, 63-52. And told you, number 24, Miami of Ohio stayed undefeated on the season, 85-61 win over Northern Illinois. So we are just about set to go in Nashville, Murray State and Belmont. Belmont coming in their red jerseys tonight with the white lettering, the white numbers. Murray State coming out in the white uniforms. The navy blue lettering trimmed in yellow, the navy blue numbers trimmed in yellow. Ryan Miller in his first year as head coach at Murray State, taking over for Steve Prohm. And the tip is won by the Bruins, underway in Nashville. First possession of the game for Belmont. Inside and a nice feed and a foul called on the first play of the game. And I said Belmont, it was Murray State that won the tip. Foul on Belmont is on Charnowski, and that will send Fred King to the line for Murray State to start this game tonight. First free throw up and around and in, and Murray State with the first point of this game tonight. One more free throw coming for Fred King. And hits them both. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Racers. Now the Bruins get their first possession as Isaiah West will bring it up across the midcourt stripe. Here's West. Over it comes to Charnowski. Charnowski finds Rogers on the outside. Rogers now given direction. Heads it back to Isaiah West. West over to Rogers. Rogers drives inside and puts it in with the left hand. And the first field goal of the game belongs to Belmont. And we're tied at 2, 45 seconds in. Lane Taylor with the basketball for Murray State. Taylor drives. Taylor gets free and lays it in. And Lane Taylor with his first 2 points. And it is a 4-2 lead for Murray State. In the corner at the other end, three-pointer, no good, but Rogers pulls down the offensive rebound for Belmont. And the Bruins will reset with a fresh 20. Open three-pointer is a brick. Rebound on the floor. Belmont, another offensive rebound. And a third try at it. And this time, Belmont will hit the long-range jumper. That's Tyler Lundblade with the three, and Belmont leads for the first time at 5-4. Javon Jackson with it on the outside for the Racers. Jackson finds King. King looking for some help, gets it over to Lane Taylor. Taylor drives. Taylor almost lost the balls. It was knocked away by Belmont, but it will stay Murray State basketball. Murray State will inbound. Here's King. Shot clock down to 2, and we have a foul with 2 seconds on the shot clock against Belmont. It's going to go against Brigham Rogers. That'll be his first. Team second. Racers inbound. And now a three-pointer on the way. Barely drew iron. King with the rebound, but he lost it as he was stripped by Isaiah West. And back comes Belmont the other way. Lundblade now will reset, gives it up to Rogers. Back to Tyler Lundblade. Lundblade will launch a three, and that's good. Second three for Lundblade, and it's an 8-4 lead for Belmont. Murray State comes up the floor and losing the basketball. Back-to-back turnovers for the Racers. Gives the ball back to Belmont. Bruins inbound as Isaiah West will cross the midcourt stripe for Belmont. West calling for help. Gives it off here. Lundblade inside gets fouled. I'm sorry, excuse me. That's Drew Charnowski. And Charnowski will head to the line for 2. Foul on Murray State is called on Fred King. That'll be his first. And Drew Charnowski at the line for 2 for Belmont. First is up and no good. Charnowski hits the second, so 1 of 2 at the line for Drew Charnowski, and it's a 9-4 early lead for Belmont. Charnowski going to get a breather. Lane Taylor brings it up for Murray State. Pass goes outside to Jackson for 3. That's off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound pulled down by Isaiah West. And that pass is airmailed, and it goes out of bounds. They're going to say that's Belmont ball. Javon Jackson went after that ball for Murray State, and there was no reason to because that ball was going to be out of bounds to Murray State. I don't know why Jackson even tried to go after that ball, and his foot came down out of bounds. Rogers with it. And now the top of the key three-pointer is no good. Rogers with a strong offensive rebound, and he gets fouled. Great hustle there by Rogers, and Fred King picks up his second foul for Murray State. Great aggressiveness under the basket there for Brigham Rogers to fight for that offensive rebound. So both teams with 2 fouls. And this time Belmont does throw it out of bounds. Looked like some miscommunication there between Rogers and Lundblade. Racers bringing up the floor, down 5, 3.5 minutes into this one. From Nashville, Taylor off in the corner for a three-pointer. That's no good, but an offensive rebound for Dylan Anderson for Murray State, and then we have a foul against the Bruins. And that'll be the second on Brigham Rogers. So Brigham Rogers for Belmont and Fred King for Murray State, 2 early fouls apiece. Rogers will have to go to the bench here. Murray State ball on the outside. This is Javon Jackson, and Jackson has it knocked out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock for Murray State. And Javon Jackson will inbound underneath the basket for the Racers. In it comes. And the turnaround in the paint is no good. Murray State just 1 for their first 5 from the floor. And back comes Belmont the other way. Pass goes inside. Layup is up, counted, and a foul. The basket and 1 for Aiden Noyes. And he'll have a chance to complete the three-point play after the under-16 timeout. Quick start for Belmont at home, 11-4 over Murray State 4 minutes into the game, and Belmont will have a chance to complete a three-point play on the other side of the timeout. So a good start for Belmont here, both offensively and defensively, as they've held Murray State cold here in the early going. Couple of updates on those top 25 games. Kentucky and Arkansas are all square at 59. Just under 10 minutes left to play in that game. UConn's off to an early lead in Omaha, 14-10 over Creighton. So it looks like John Calipari's current team is going to be in a battle against John Calipari's former team. Again, coming up later on, the first of two meetings between number 6 Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Those two teams pretty much every year battle for that West Coast Conference title. This game will be in Spokane tonight. Gonzaga ranked number 6 this week in the AP poll. Early on in this one, the Bruins 4 for 7 from the floor, limiting Murray State to 1 for their first 5. Aiden Noyes will be going to the line to try to complete the three-point play for the Bruins. Casey Alexander going for win number 160 tonight in his helm at Belmont. It's in his 7th year with the Bruins. Noyes to try to complete the three-point play, and he does. And Belmont has themselves an 8-point lead at 12-4. And the Bruins tonight also looking for win number 20 on the season and looking to extend their winning streak to 7. Racers bring it up the floor. A long-range jumper, that's no good, but an offensive rebound for Dylan Anderson and a reset for Murray State. Anderson gives it off to Javon Jackson. Jackson lost the handle momentarily, gets it back, now pulls up in the paint. That rattles out. Rebound this time pulled down by Belmont. So the Racers' early game shooting struggles continuing. And Dylan with it. Dylan on the outside, top of the key for 3, and it's good for Dylan. Third 3 of the half for Belmont. They're calling that, I think they're calling that a 3. The CBS Sports Network score bug. Now they just changed it. I was going to say they only credited them for 2, but they just changed it. Roman Doman outside for Murray State. Now gives it off, and stepping out of bounds was Murray State. And Jackson put his heel on the end line, and Murray State turns it over for the 3rd time. Tyler Lundblade back in the lineup for Belmont. Bruins bring it up the floor. It's Jack Smiley bringing it up across midcourt to Dylan. Dylan, nice bounce pass, and the reverse layup is good. A great feed from Dylan to Tyler Lundblade. He's got 8 early for Belmont. And the lead stretches to 13 for the Bruins. Here's Dylan Anderson with it on the outside. Gives it off now to KJ Tenner. And we're going the other way. Another turnover against the Racers. And Belmont will get it back. This is a 15-0 run in progress for Belmont. Smiley brings it up the floor for the Bruins. Smiley guarded by KJ Tenner. Spin here, Sharnowski with the right hand comes up short. Rebound pulled down by Murray State. And back the other way come the Racers. The turnaround in the paint, that's too strong. Murray State now 1 of 9 from the field, make it 1 of 10. And the layup at the other end is no good. Belmont tries to save it, but Murray State comes up with the loose ball. And back the other way, they come in the corner for 3. That's an air ball. Air offensive rebound. Murray State shot blocked by Sharnowski, and then it goes off Murray State out of bounds. It's going to go back to Belmont. Murray State took the lead 4-2 on a layup at the 18:58 mark of the first half. They have not scored in over 5.5 minutes. Brigham Rogers back in with the 2 fouls for Belmont. Gives it off to Dillon. Dillon drives, puts it up with the right hand, missed it, gets his own rebound, however. And the Bruins get an extra possession. Jack Smiley with it now on the outside. To Rogers, back to Smiley. Smiley drives, bounce pass to Rogers. Rogers in the paint, looking to spin. Now turns with the right hand and scores. And the lead balloons to 15 now, as the run is now 17-0 for Belmont. And now we got a bump foul outside on the Bruins. It is now over 6 minutes, the scoring drought for Murray State. Murray State ball. Here's a deep three-pointer that barely drew the back iron there. Rebound pulled down by Belmont. Murray State now 1 for 11 shooting. Dillon. Top of the key, open three-pointer is good from Noyes. And it is a 20-0 run for Belmont. Timeout Murray State. It is 22-4 Bruins. And this will serve also as the under 12 timeout, as we're going to be at 12:21 to play in the opening half. And Belmont, absolute lights out shooting while defensively holding Murray State to 1 for 11. And it is all Bruins here in the early going, 22-4 over Murray State. Kentucky's taken the lead over Arkansas, 68-63. 8 minutes to go, second half in Fayetteville. Creighton's taken the lead over UConn early, 18-17. UConn's had a couple close calls here over the last couple weeks, but they've found a way to pull those games out. Creighton having a little bit of a down year for their standards, but still, that is a very tough place to play out there in Omaha. Coming up at halftime, we'll run down the top 25 scoreboard, look at some top 25 games tomorrow. There's a couple good ones on the slate for tomorrow. And starting in February, which is tomorrow, on my live streams, either before the game or during the half or something, Going to start breaking down. We're going to start getting into that talk here as we go into February. Bubble talk, who's on the bubble, who needs some wins, where they're projected. We'll talk about all that coming up on these college basketball live streams starting in February, starting tomorrow, actually. We'll start to get into that bubble NCAA tournament discussion. As Selection Sunday, believe it or not, is just 6 weeks from tomorrow. How the season has just flown by. Following the Murray State timeout, the Racers will inbound. They have got to stop this. It is a 20-0 Belmont run. On the outside is Weiss. Murray State has gone 11 deep in this first half so far. Shot clock down to 7. That was almost a travel there for Murray State. The turnaround inside, and finally Murray State gets a shot to go down as it's Roman Dauman. And that stops the big run for Belmont. Just the second field goal of the half for the Racers. And that's a bad pass inside, but Murray State can't quite handle it. It will stay with the Bruins. Bruins inbound here. Lundblad on the outside. Gives it off to Charnowski. And here comes another three-pointer, and Noyes hits his third three of the half for Belmont. And that pushes the lead to 19. Belmont's 5 for 8 from long distance. At the other end, shot is blocked. Murray State gets it back and will hit a three. That's Braden Shorter with a three-pointer at the top of the key. And it's a 25-9 lead for Belmont. Dillon with it for the Bruins. Nice pass inside. Left hand up and in for Drew Charnowski. That's his first field goal. Bruins shooting 63%. On the outside here for Murray State is Mathis Corbin. Shot clock down to 10. Racers go inside, and they turn it over. Belmont gets a steal. Great feed inside and a dunk. Dillon finds Charnowski underneath for an easy dunk. And the assist from Dillon, and the Belmont lead is 20. 10 assists on 11 made field goals for Belmont. And at the other end, we have a foul on the drive. Going to get Tyler Lundblad with the foul. That'll be his first. Boy, unselfish play for Belmont as you get, as I said, 10 assists on 11 field goal attempts. 2 shots here for Braden Shorter, and the first free throw is up and good. One more free throw coming for Shorter. And good. 29-11, Belmont in front. Midway point, first half. Bruins with it. This is Jack Smiley. Alley-oop, a little too tall, but Belmont gets the loose ball. Rebound, reverse layup is up and good for Jabez Jenkins. That's his first field goal. And the Belmont lead back to 20 again at 31-11, and a strip. Charnowski takes it away, and Murray State knocks it out of bounds. That's the 6th turnover for the Racers here in the first half. Boy, Belmont getting it done both offensively and defensively. Charnowski going to get a breather here. Bruins bring it in. This is Jenkins. Jenkins finds Jack Smiley. Smiley looking to drive. Now we'll back it back out. Smiley gives it off to Dillon. Dillon lost it momentarily. Gets it back outside to Smiley. 10 to shoot for Belmont. Smiley on the drive. Smiley has it rejected. Major block there from J.J. Traynor. Belmont will keep it with 7 on the shot clock. Bruins bring it in. Win Miller, who just checked it. And now a deep three is swished. That's how you know it might be your night. Jack Smiley put that up from about 24 feet and swished it. 34-11. And a bounce pass inside, and there's a layup at the other end for Traynor for Murray State. And it makes it 34-13. And now here comes another three-pointer. This one from Dillon. Belmont 7 of 10 from beyond the arc. The spin in the paint is short at the other end. Murray State gets the offensive rebound, counted, and one. Good offensive rebound there for Doman. And he puts it in and gets the foul. Foul's going to be on Jenkins. That'll be his first. And Doman going to the line to try to complete the three-point play here for Murray State. Doman averaging just over 13 points a game this year. And completes the three-point play. 37-16, the Belmont lead, as we are under 8.5 to play here in the first half. Here's Jenkins. Outside to Charnowski. And the turnaround Lundblade for three. That was not a good shot. Rebound Murray State. Racers almost turn it over again, but able to save it. This is J.J. Traynor. And now a three-pointer is a brick off the back rim, off the hands of Javon Jackson. And back comes Belmont. 2-on-1 and a monster dunk for Jabez Jenkins. Jenkins brings down the house with that dunk. And another timeout called. The head of the court pass, Smiley finds Jenkins for the power dunk. It is all Belmont, 39-16, 7:55 to go in the first half. Another big start tonight by the Belmont Bruins. We are seeing why they are the conference leader. This is a team that averages the mid-80s as far as points per game. They are well on that pace here in this one. Taking a look at some stats from this game so far. Murray State just 5 of 18 from the floor at 28%. They're just 1 of 8 from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Belmont 63% shooting, 15 of 24. They're 7 of 11 from three-point range, just red hot from the field. 14-8 rebound edge, and they force 6 Murray State turnovers while committing just 1 themselves. 13 assists on 15 made field goals for Belmont. That is impressive. And you got an assist to turnover ratio for Belmont here in the first half of 13-1. 13 assists, just 1 turnover. Meanwhile, Murray State, 2 assists, 6 turnovers. And Belmont looking for win number 20 on the season. Off to a very good start tonight to get that. Racers have had absolutely no answer for this Belmont offensive attack so far in this game. Update on those other top 25 scores. UConn and Creighton tied at 27. 4.5 remaining in the first half. And Kentucky a 75-69 lead on Arkansas. After the timeout, Racers bring it up the floor. And we've got a foul here called on Belmont. This will be their 6th foul of the first half. This one's going to be number 2 on Jenkins. Correction, I'm sorry, that's the 7th team foul. So now it's 1-1 for Murray State, and at the line is Mathis Corbin. Got the first. Corbin one more free throw and got them both. That is the one bright spot for Murray State here in the first half. They are 7 of 7 at the free throw line. But they still trail here 39-18. And Murray State coming a little bit of pressure here. And too tight on the pressure as they commit the foul. It's going to be on Corbin. He wasn't real pleased with that foul call. It's team foul number 4 in the half on Murray State. Got some news that came down from the NBA today, kind of a breaking story. We'll talk about that at halftime, too. Here's Isaiah West. West tries to go inside and does. Bruins working around the arc, and now a long 2 is an air ball. Rebound pulled down by Murray State. The reverse layup up and in. Nice move there by Doman. And the reverse layup, and the lead is now 39-20 for Belmont. Isaiah West finds Sharnowski. Sharnowski, a great bounce pass. And we're going to have a whistle here. I think they got a kick ball on that. .657 remaining in the first half. Bruins bring it in. Sharnowski, bounce pass, and now finding the outside is Dillon. Dillon spins. Dillon turns in the paint. Got it. Dillon with 8 here in the half for Belmont. 41-20. Bounce alley-oop at the other end is converted. The lob to J.J. Traynor for the dunk. 41-22. Smiley outside. Here comes another 3. This one a little long. Another offensive rebound for Belmont. Put back no good, but a foul is called on Murray State. That'll be number 3 on Fred King, I believe. So 2 free throws here for Belmont. Jenkins at the line. First is good. Second free throw on the way from Jenkins. And good. 43-22, the Belmont lead as we approach 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Outside here for the Racers. Here comes a three-pointer, front of the rim, no good. Murray State with a nice offensive rebound. The feed, and Dolman is stripped, and it will stay Murray State's ball. Racers will inbound underneath the basket. Dolman thought he was fouled on that drive, but it's just called a side out of bounds. And it comes to Dolman. Dolman on the drive, lays it up and in. Dolman off the bench with 9 for Murray State. And it's 43-24 in favor for Belmont. And Belmont, a three-pointer rimmed out. Belmont's missed their last 3 from beyond the arc after hitting 7 of their first 10. And there's a nice feed inside, and a shot blocked underneath. And the Bruins have a breakaway 2-on-1, and there's another dunk. Jack Smiley flushes it down for Belmont. 45-24. Trainer with it on the outside, gives it off to Dolman. Dolman into the corner for a 3. That's an air ball. Rebound pulled down by Belmont. Bruins bring it up the floor. With a comfortable 21-point lead, Dillon behind his back now will drive inside and goes behind the back again and lost it. Maybe tried to get a little too cute that time. Just Belmont's second turnover of the first half. Jenkins going to get a breather here for Belmont. As the Racers bring it up the floor with 4.5 to play here in the first half. Taylor on the outside. And the Racers throw it out of bounds. Turnover number 7 on Murray State here in the first half. Smiley brings it up the floor for Belmont. To Charnowski. Charnowski gets in the paint, passes outside to Lundblade. Murray State bench wanted to travel there. Charnowski with it. Charnowski bounce pass inside for an easy layup to Jack Smiley. 15th assist in the first half for Belmont. Murray State at the other end, and we have a reach-in foul on Belmont. That'll take us to the under 4 timeout. It is all Bruins here in this one. The Missouri Valley Conference leaders, and we're seeing why. They lead by 23 over Murray State late first half. As mentioned, coming up at the half, we will run down the top 25 scoreboard, and we will bring you some other sports news from around the world of sports outside of college basketball. Like I said, we had a big NBA story developed today. We'll talk about that. Australian Open, we had the women's final earlier, and now we've got the men's final coming up here in just a few hours. Tell you who won the women's final and who will be playing for the men's Australian Open championship. And other news around the sports world. That's all coming up at halftime. including a first half recap of this game, which has been absolutely dominated by Belmont. They lead 47-24. They had a 20-0 run earlier here in this first half that really just broke this game open. Murray State's still shooting just 33% from the floor, 8 of 24, and just 1 of 10 from three-point range. Meanwhile, Belmont's still at 60%, 18 out of 30. They're 7 of 13 at the foul line, or at the three-point line, rather, for 54%. Murray State coming in on a 3-game losing streak, trying not to push that to 4, but they're in a big hole here if they want to try to avoid that. If Belmont, a win here would give them a 2-game lead in the Missouri Valley standings and would get them win number 20. Looking ahead for these two teams, Belmont will be hosting Valparaiso, their next contest. That will be on Tuesday. Murray State will head back home and take on the UIC Flames. That game also on Tuesday. Crown Clown in the live chat got the under first half 85.5. We're at 71 right now. Well, I wish you well on that. We need another 15 points. We will have free throws here for Murray State, as it will be Javon Jackson at the line. First is up and good on the 1-and-1. That's Jackson's first point. And 1 of 2 as Jackson misses the second. That's Murray State's first miss at the free throw line. Belmont knocks it out of bounds, so it will stay Murray State ball. Inbound it comes to Dolman. Dolman drives. Dolman turns in the paint, puts it up too strong. Rebound pulled down by the Bruins. Smiley brings it up across the midcourt stripe as we're under 3.5 to go here in the first half. Sharnowski drives, kicks it outside to Lundblade. Lundblade back inside to Sharnowski, spins in the paint, puts it up with the right hand and scores. Sharnowski now has 7. And Belmont with their largest lead of 24, 49-25. Taylor looking for help. And able to get it inside. Dolman, and now a three-point shot on the way is swished at the other end for Murray State. And that'll make it 49-28. Jenkins inside for Belmont. Jenkins backing his way in. Jenkins turns and shot it too strong. Sharnowski, the offensive rebound, no good, but we have a foul on Murray State. That'll be team foul number 8, and it'll send Sharnowski to the line for a 1-and-1. Second foul on J.J. Traynor. First of 2 for Sharnowski, around and out. That's Belmont's first miss at the line. Sharnowski looking for his 8th point of the first half. He'll have one more free throw. Missed them both. Rebound pulled down by the Racers. So the lead is still 21 at 49-28. Taylor, top of the key three. That was a little quick, but an offensive rebound for King. He'll put it back up off the glass and in. Fred King with his first field goal. Fred King back in the game with Murray State with 3 fouls. So Coach Miller rolling the dice here. Lundblade inside, and he'll put it in with the right hand. Tyler Lundblade with 10 in the half. 51-30. Belmont leading Murray State. Doman. And the drive inside off the glass and in for Javon Jackson. Crown Clown, I hate to burst your bubble here, but you're under 85.5. It's not looking too good. 51-32. The runner, that's too strong. Rebound pulled down by the Racers. Under a minute and a half. Jackson. And an open three-pointer is too strong, but an offensive rebound putback is good for King. He's now got 6. And the Racers are within 17 here, 51-34. Charnowski. Lundblade from the foul line, counted and won. Tyler Lundblade got hit from behind, scores it, and draws a foul. And he'll have a chance for a three-point play. Mason Miller called for the foul. Lundblade trying to complete the three-point play, and he does. And the lead, just like that, is back to 20. Here's Taylor. Bounce or pass inside. King will put it in off the glass for the layup. Fred King getting hot here. All of a sudden, he's got 8 points. 54-36 as we're under a minute. Dillon lost it. Taken away by Murray State. And back the other way come the Racers. Here's a three that's blocked, but they're going to get a foul on Dillon on the three-point shot. And it'll be 3 free throws for Murray State. Dillon trying to plead his case with the officials, but to no avail. And 3 free throws coming for Doman. First of 3 is good. Murray State down 24 just a couple minutes ago. They're making a late little mini run here at the end of the first half to try to get back in this thing. Second of 3 for Doman is also good. Got a final on that game in Fayetteville. We'll tell you about it at the half here. Doman looking for his second or third one. That's no good. Belmont pulls down the rebound. So 2 out of 3. Doman comes in and steals it and scores. That ends up a 4-point trip for Murray State. And they are within 14. So they've cut 10 points off this deficit. Final shot of the half goes to Belmont with 10 seconds. Smiley misses the bank shot. Murray State gets the rebound. And the three-pointer at the first half horn is short. But Murray State goes on a late run in the first half to pull within 14 at the break. It is 54-40. Belmont leading Murray State at the half. Murray State got themselves back in this ballgame here. as they close the first half on an 11-1 run. 54-40, Bruins lead the Racers at the half. We're talking about that game in Fayetteville. It is now a final. John Calipari's former team, Kentucky, goes into Fayetteville and knocks off John Calipari and the Arkansas Razorbacks. That final is 85-77. So that's a big win on the road for Mark Pope and Kentucky against the 15th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. UConn pulled away a little bit at the end of the first half against Creighton. UConn at the half leads Creighton by 11, 41-30. Again, looking at Creighton, they're 12-9. Their at-large hopes are slipping away. I know you got the second-ranked UConn Huskies in town, but if you're Creighton, this is probably a game you have to have in order to keep your at-large chances alive. And they're down 11 at the half to the UConn Huskies. Well, we've got the top 25 teams in action today. We have got two matchups involving top 25 ranked teams going on tomorrow. The big matchup tomorrow is in Lincoln, Nebraska. Number 5 Nebraska, coming off their first loss of the season earlier this week against Michigan. They will be hosting the red-hot number 9 Illinois Fighting Illini in Lincoln tomorrow. That is a 4 o'clock Eastern time tip. Very seriously considering going on the live stream for that game tomorrow, as that's going to be a doozy between Illinois and Nebraska. Nebraska beat Illinois in Champaign earlier this year. A late 3-point shot at the end of that game won it for Nebraska. So Illinois going into that game with a little bit of payback on their mind. And 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow for that game. And we also have a top 25 matchup in Gainesville tomorrow between the defending national champion Florida Gators. They're hosting number 23 Alabama tomorrow in Gainesville. So that looks like a very good matchup tomorrow between Alabama and Florida. Other top 25 teams in action tomorrow. This isn't ranked against ranked, but number 12 Purdue, they're currently on a 3-game losing streak. They're going the wrong direction right here. They're in College Park to take on Maryland to try to get out of their funk. And this is not a very good Maryland team this year, but with Purdue, they've struggled on offense here in that 3-game losing streak. So College Park still, despite the team, that is not an easy place to get a victory at. So Purdue going to try and snap their losing streak with that game at Maryland tomorrow. And number 8, Iowa State in action tomorrow. They travel to Manhattan, Kansas to take on the Wildcats of Kansas State. That is a 2 o'clock Eastern time tip-off tomorrow. As those are the matchups in the top 25 coming up tomorrow. Well, steering clear of college basketball for a moment, and some news that broke down earlier today from the NBA. And it involves the Philadelphia 76ers, as the 76ers, Paul George of the Philadelphia 76ers has been banned for 25 games for taking what is called improper medication. I guess took a medication that is, I'm assuming, on the list of NBA's banned substances. And so with that, Paul George, a 25-game suspension. It is officially a violation of the NBA's anti-drug policy. And it does not appear, as looking at Paul George's statement from earlier today, it does not appear that he's going to appeal or anything, because it appears that he mistakenly but took a substance that is on the NBA's banned medication list. He will be eligible to return March the 25th. So that toward the end of the regular season for that one. But Paul George of the 76ers, a 25-game suspension for violation of the league's anti-drug policy. So the 76ers moving forward will not have Paul George. Well, also other sports news, the Australian Open is wrapping up, and we have got the men's final coming up. It's going to be live here in the United States at 3:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Of course, in Australia, you've got the big time difference over there. Carlos Alcaraz, the number one ranked player in the country, against the fourth-ranked Novak Djokovic for the Australian Open Championship on the men's side. So Djokovic going for yet another major championship, and also Alcaraz, the number one ranked player in the world, trying to get the victory as well. Women's Australian Open wrapped up earlier. The women's, and Elena Rybakina gets her second Grand Slam championship as she knocked out the number one team player in women's tennis. And I'm trying to know how to pronounce her. Arina Sabalenka, I think, is the pronunciation of that. But a 3-set win for Elena Rybakina, 6-4, 4-6, and 6-4. So that is major championship number 2 for Elena Rybakina. She knocked off number 1 Arina Sabalenka for the Australian Open Women's Championship down under. So that's some other sports news across the country. Of course, we are in the week between the conference championships and Super Bowl 60 in the NFL. Super Bowl 60 will be next Sunday from Santa Clara. The Seahawks and the Patriots. Of course, you got the Pro Bowl games going on this weekend down there in Florida. Those will be taking place tomorrow. So that's news from around the sports world. Back to college basketball, as we started the day with 2 undefeated teams in college basketball. And at the end of the day, we still have 2 undefeated teams in college basketball, as Arizona and Miami of Ohio both won their games today to both move to 22-0. Arizona an 87-74 win over their state rivals from Arizona State, so they get the season sweep of the Sun Devils this year. And Miami of Ohio broke open a close game with about 10 minutes to go and pulled away from Northern Illinois and won 85-61. So the Red Hawks stay undefeated at 22-0. Next game's up for both those teams. Number 1 Arizona will be back in action 1 week from tonight. They get a week off here, as next Saturday they will be back at home hosting Oklahoma State in Tucson. That's the next game up for the Wildcats. And meanwhile, Miami of Ohio, they're back in action on Tuesday. It's going to be a tough one on Tuesday as they travel up to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bulls. Miami of Ohio had to go overtime a couple weeks ago to beat Buffalo in Oxford. So you know Buffalo's going to be looking for revenge on the return trip. Miami of Ohio still has some tough conference games left yet. They're, I've said, at Buffalo. Their next game, they have to go on the road yet to another couple tough places. UMass, who gave them a tough game at home this past week. And they still have to go on the road at Ohio. So still it's some tough matchups for the Red Hawks coming up yet. As Arizona and Miami of Ohio stay undefeated, the only two left in the undefeated category in men's college basketball. Here at the half, it is 54-40. Belmont leading Murray State. Murray State went on an 11-1 run to end that first half to try to claw themselves back in this ballgame. Let's run down the first half stats from this game. Belmont had been in the 60% range in field goal shooting all first half. They dropped down to 58 there at the end of the half, 21 of 36. That's still very good shooting percentage. They're 7 of 13 from beyond the arc for 54%, and 5 of 8 at the free throw line for 63% for Murray State. 14 of 34, 41%. They really did pick that up at the end of the first half, but just 2 of 14 from beyond the arc at 14%. They were 10 of 12 at the free throw line for 83%. Rebound edge in the first half went to Belmont slightly, 19-18. Turnovers, Murray State turned it over 7 times in the first half. Belmont turned it over 4 times in the first half. We've got a final in that other game in the Missouri Valley Conference. UIC came from behind. They were trailing most of that game, but they came back to beat the Salukis 68-66 down in Carbondale. So a road win for UIC on the road at Southern Illinois in the Missouri Valley tonight. Leading scorers, or the scorers in this game, leading the way for Belmont's Tyler Lundblade with 13 points in that first half. 9 points off the bench from Aiden Noyes, 8 points for Ian Dillon, 7 points apiece from Drew Sharnowski and Jack Smiley, 6 points out of Jabez Jenkins, and 4 points for Brigham Rogers for Belmont. Murray State, they were led in scoring off the bench by Roman Doman's 13 points. 8 points out of Fred King, 5 points off the bench from Braden Shorter, 4 points out of J.J. Traynor, 3 points apiece from Mason Miller and Javon Jackson, and 2 points out of both Lane Taylor and Mathis Corbin to round out the scoring for the Racers here in the first half. It is a 54-40 lead for the Belmont Bruins over Murray State. As we are just about set to start the second half from Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee, in a high-scoring first half. Belmont looking to move to 20-3 and win their 7th in a row, while Murray State trying to complete the comeback and trying to avoid losing their 4th straight after starting 8-0 in conference play. They are underway in the second half in Omaha between UConn and Creighton. UConn leading that game 46-32. Teams getting their final instructions here as we are about set to get the second half underway. It will be Belmont to inbound to open the second half, which is right now. Jack Smiley gets the second half start for Belmont. He's got the ball now over to Charnowski. Charnowski off to Rogers. Rogers finds Lundblade. Lundblade takes a long two-pointer and rattles it in to begin the second half scoring. Lundblade now with 15. 56-40. First possession, second half for Murray State. Inside it goes to Fred King. King, the turn off the glass, scores. Fred King now in double figures with 10. It's 56-42. And a great pass inside, and the tough shot goes down. Charnowski now has 9. 58-42. Open three at the other end is good from Lane Taylor. That's his first three-pointer. And the Racers are within 13, 58-45. Smiley off to Charnowski. Charnowski. Taylor went flying there. Lundblade hits a three. Lundblade's third three. He's got 18 for the Bruins. And it pushes the lead back to 16. Taylor, and that's going to be a travel. Murray State's first turnover of the second half. Charnowski with it for Belmont. Charnowski looking for some help. Gives it over to Rogers, but Rogers wasn't looking for it, and the Bruins turn it over. And we are going to be going the other way as it's going to be another turnover. I believe they just got foul number 4 on Fred King on an illegal screen. And Ryan Miller on the Murray State bench is none too happy. Yeah, they just showed the replay. I don't know about that one. That looked like Rogers just simply ran into King while King was just underneath the basket there. Yeah, it's a tough call, and Ryan Miller's just got teed up for Murray State. He was none too pleased with that call. And he said something he shouldn't have, and he gets teed up on the Murray State sideline. Lundblade at the line to shoot the technical free throws. And he hits them both. Ryan Miller still discussing things, and I'm incorrect. That's only Fred King's third foul. I thought he had 3 before. But that just now is his third foul. So after the 2 technical free throws, Belmont has possession. Smiley off to Charnowski. Charnowski to Lundblade. Misses that 3. Belmont tries to save it, but they cannot. It hits the end line, and it will go over to Murray State. I understand why Ryan Miller was frustrated when they showed the replay. That looked like a tough call against King. Javon Jackson, and that's going to be a reach-in foul on Belmont. They're going to get Jenkins with the foul. That'll be his third. First team foul of the second half on Belmont. Taylor with it on the outside. Taylor looking to drive. Taylor has it blocked by Rogers, and it's saved to Lundblade. Smiley outside. Another three ball is good. Belmont continues their hot three-point shooting. And the lead back to 21, 66-45. 8-0 run for Belmont. Jackson tries to go inside to a double team, but it was knocked away and stolen. Not a good pass that time from Jackson. Smiley. Charnowski now with it on the outside. Charnowski drives inside, now looks for some help, kicks it outside to Lundblade. Lundblade's three is blocked. Lundblade gets it back. He'll drive inside with 5 on the shot clock and get fouled. And Tyler Lundblade will head to the line for 2 more. And that's going to be foul number 3 on J.J. Traynor. So Traynor joins King with 3 fouls for Murray State. And Lundblade at the line as he hits the first. Lundblade with 1 more, leading scorer on the season for Belmont. What a night he's having again tonight as he hits them both. He's got 22 now. 68-45 Belmont. Both these teams looking to get back to the NCAA tournament. Both these teams have made some noise in the past in the NCAA. Here's Jackson. Cross-court pass is thrown out of bounds, and that's the 3rd turnover in the last 4 trips down the field for the Racers, down the floor for the Racers. 4 minutes into this second half, Belmont's pushed the lead back out again as they're currently on a 10-0 run. It is 68-45 for the Bruins. Exactly 16 minutes remaining. UConn continuing to have a little bit of breathing room against Creighton. That is 52-38. 14 and a half minutes left to go in that one. Still, when the new AP poll comes out on Monday, despite what happens here, I do expect you're probably going to see Michigan leapfrog UConn because of Michigan's 2 wins this week. They beat number 5 Nebraska, handing Nebraska their first loss of the season, and then they went into East Lansing last night and knocked off Michigan State. So a win against number 5 and number 7 this week for Michigan should leapfrog them to number 2. And they may even get some first-place votes. Arizona's been the unanimous number 1 the last 2 weeks. It's probably not going to be the case this week because you're probably going to see Michigan get some first-place votes this week. And well-deservedly so for head coach Dusty May and that Michigan Wolverines, a very, very good Michigan Wolverines squad. Belmont's back to 60% shooting, 25 of 42. They are 9 of 17 from beyond the arc, 53% three-point shooting. As Belmont looks to take a 2-game lead in the Missouri Valley, and they are well on their way. If Murray State does not come back here, we will have a 3-way tie for second place with Murray State, Bradley, and UIC surprising UIC team this year as they're 8-4 in conference play. As we are getting down into the final month of the regular season, seeding starting to become a factor. In the Missouri Valley, you want to finish in the top 5. If you finish in the top 5, you get that first round off. It used to be the top 4, but now with the Missouri Valley one less team than they've had in the past with Missouri State moving on to Conference USA, it is now an 11-team conference. So the top 5 now get first-round byes at Arch Madness. Following the timeout, Belmont brings it up the floor. This is Dillon. Now Sharnowski. Sharnowski off to Dillon. Dillon bounce pass inside to Jenkins. Jenkins spins. Jenkins puts up the acrobatic shot and gets fouled. He put that up where he wasn't even looking at the basket. He shot it behind him. Didn't go, but Jenkins will get 2 free throws. Jenkins 6 points on the night. First free throw up and good. Earlier today in the Valley, Bradley winning in Des Moines over Drake. 87-73. UIC, a team we just mentioned, comeback win at Southern Illinois, 68-66. Second free throw here, no good, but we have a loose ball foul on Murray State. I think they're going to get Doman. Other scores in the Missouri Valley, Northern Iowa, 71-55 win over Evansville. And Valparaiso in overtime wins at Indiana State, 76-72. Looks like the officials are going to go to the monitor here for something. Not sure exactly what the officials are going to the monitor for here, but they're looking at something. See if we see. Oh, looks like Sharnowski and King got their arms locked. So I think they're looking for a hook and hold here. So we are in a video review for what I assume is looking to see if a hook and hold needs to be called. Drew Sharnowski and Fred King got their arms locked. Officials are still looking at this. And now they walk away from the monitor and are discussing amongst the three of them. Here's the call. By the way, Rick Crawford, Jeff Campbell, and James Dale are officiating crew tonight as assigned by the Missouri Valley Conference. No hook and hold, so just a common foul. As Belmont will inbound. This is Dillon driving, getting free, missing the layup. Murray State, however, cannot come down with the rebound as it goes out of bounds. It will stay with Belmont. Charnowski with it off the inbound, finds Dillon. Dillon tries a three and swishes it. Dillon now in double figures with 11. Belmont has their largest lead of the game of 27, 72-45. This is now a 14-0 run for Belmont. They had a 20-0 run in the first half. And we've got a reach-in foul on the Bruins. Murray stayed with it. And the drive in the paint, the runner goes up and down, and that'll stop the 14-0 run as Braden Shorter gets the shot to go for Murray State, 72-47. Charnowski finds Lundblade. Back to Charnowski. Tough acrobatic shot. No good. Follows his own miss with a dunk. Charnowski now in double figures with 11. Dolman goes inside to King. King almost lost it, and it'll be knocked out of bounds by Belmont with 9 on the shot clock. Racers will bring it in. Charnowski getting a breather here for Belmont as he heads to the sideline. Here comes a three-point shot on the way. That's no good. And we have a rebound. Looks like we're going to have a tie-up. Possession arrow will give the ball to Murray State. Inside it goes. And there's a dunk for Fred King. King now with a dozen. 74-49. Rogers with it now for Belmont. Rogers off to Isaiah West. West kicks it outside to Youngblade. Youngblade will reset the offense. Lundblade rather, goes to Jenkins. Jenkins on the drive with the left hand. He lays it in. Jabez Jenkins with the layup. 76-49. Runner at the other end, no good, but a foul is called. 21 assists tonight for Belmont on 28 made field goals. Murray State will have 2 free throws here. First is up and long. Dolman will have 1 more. Dillon returns to the lineup for Belmont. Second free throw is no good either, as no one misses both. Smiley with it for the Bruins. Over to Charnowski. Charnowski looking for help, gives it back outside to Smiley. Over it goes to Dillon. Dillon on the outside now takes a 3 in the corner, and Belmont hits another 3. Actually, they're calling that a long 2. Excuse me. That's a 2-pointer for Dillon. So he's got 13 now. And there's a deep 3 for Murray State that's going to go. Braden Shorter with a long-range shot. 78-52. Charnowski off to Smiley. Jack Smiley has it knocked out of bounds by Murray State, and Belmont will keep it with 12 on the shot clock. And here comes another three-pointer, and good again from Noyes. Belmont, 11 of 19 from beyond the arc. 81-52. Murray State brings it back down. The runner inside will go down. KJ Tenner with the shot in the paint for Murray State. Back comes Belmont. Here's Dillon. Noyes hits again from long range. This is an absolute shooting clinic. 12th three-pointer tonight for Belmont. 60% shooting from beyond the three-point arc. And they lead by 30. At the other end, a three-pointer. That's no good. Rebound pulled down by the Bruins. Smiley. Lundblade. Lundblade is fouled. It is all Bruins tonight. The Missouri Valley Conference leaders taking it to Murray State. 84-54 Bruins. 10:49 to go. %61 shooting from the floor for Belmont. Murray State at 47%. 60% shooting from beyond the arc for the Bruins. Murray State just 22% three-point shooting, 4 of 18. Update on that UConn-Creighton game. UConn has pulled away in Omaha. They lead 62-40 in the second half. So Creighton, with still a month and a half or so to go in the Big East season. Creighton, usually a solid NCAA tournament team every year, but they're assuming they don't come back here. Their at-large chances this year are clinging to life support. Again, hope to be back on the live stream with you tomorrow. For that top 10 matchup in Lincoln between Illinois and Nebraska. That's not set in stone yet that I'm going to be on for that one. That Illinois-Nebraska, the next slide, that is tentative at this point. That is not a for sure. But if I do go on for that game, it'll be 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow for that top 10 matchup in Lincoln. But again, this is tentative at this point. Bruins to inbound out of the timeout. And it comes from Brigham Rogers. And we are going to have a foul on the Racers. This will be 2 shots for Lundblade. Or 1-1, excuse me. First is good. That shouldn't be 1-1. I think it's only 16 fouls. He made the first one anyway, so it didn't. Lundblade hits them both. Up the floor come the Racers. This is KJ Tenner. Tenner. Bounce pass into the corner. A three-pointer is off the front of the rim. No good. King with the offensive rebound for the Racers. And then we have a reach-in foul on Belmont following the offensive rebound. Fourth team foul the second half on the Bruins. Murray State will bring it in underneath the basket. And it comes to Tenner. Tenner goes inside and King is fouled. Looks like they're going to get Brigham Rogers. That'll be his third. Team fifth. Murray State will try to inbound. They're shorter. Outside to Tenner. Tenner kicks it outside for a three-pointer that is good. That makes it 86-57. Midway point, second half. In a game that has been all Belmont. Charnowski drives and gets fouled, and that's going to be that is for sure now number 4 on Fred King. Charnowski at the line for 2 for Belmont. First is good. Belmont coming into this game with a net ranking of 61 as Charnowski hits both. That's a little low. They are a projected 12 seed at the moment. Trainer with it. Shot clock down to 7. Runner inside, no good. That shot clock didn't reset. Murray State's going to have to get a shot off here. That's an air ball. Rebound pulled down by Brigham Rogers. Lundblade thought about the 3. Now kicks it off, but the Racers get the steal. Just the 6th turnover for Belmont. Taking care of the ball pretty well tonight. And a foul. This one's going to be number 4 on Rogers. So Brigham Rogers just picked up his 4th foul. And Murray State will be at the line. First is up and good. One more free throw coming. And good. Smiley brings it up the floor for Belmont as we hit 9 to play. Layup at the other end. Count it for Charnowski and a foul. Charnowski will have an attempt at a three-point play. That's going to be foul number 4 on J.J. Traynor. So Fred King and J.J. Traynor, 4 fouls apiece for Murray State. Three-point play is good for Charnowski. 16 points tonight for Drew Charnowski. And boy, is he fired up going back down the court. Tenor brings it up the floor for the Racers. KJ Tenor on the outside. And now a three-point shot on the way. That's off the back rim. No, from Braden Shorter. Rebound to the Bruins. Isaiah West off to Lundblade. Nice pass inside to Charnowski. That's before the shot. That layup will not count. And this will be a 1-and-1. Charnowski going right back to the free throw line. Charnowski with 16 points, just 2 rebounds shy of a double-double, and also just 2 assists needed for a double, possibly triple-double. Missed the first free throw short. Second free throw for Charnowski is good. (92-59). It is all Belmont. Belmont still over 60% from the floor shooting the basketball. Taylor with it on the outside for the Racers. Taylor drives, now gets cut off and gets bumped. And Lane Taylor will head to the line for a 1-and-1. Fouls on Charnowski. That's his second. Charnowski going to go to the bench here to a nice hand from the Belmont fans, and well-deserved. Taylor, front end of the 1-and-1 is good. And he'll get the bonus. Two free throws there for Taylor. 92-61. A little bit of press shown here by Murray State, but Belmont breaks it easily. Down to 8 minutes to go. Isaiah West on the drive. West, the reverse layup, and it rolls in. Isaiah West now has 5. And the Racers turn it over for the 12th time. West. Dillon. And now Smiley will slow it up and back it back out. Lundblade on the drive with the right hand. No good, but he is fouled. And Lundblade will have a trip to the foul line with under 8 to play. Belmont well on their way to cruising to win number 20 on the season and extending their lead in the Missouri Valley Conference to 2 games. UConn is now absolutely blowing out Creighton, 72-45. 7 minutes to go in that one. Murray State, barring some kind of monumental comeback here, will be dropping their 4th in a row after an 8-0 start in conference play. And Belmont is well on their way to winning their 7th in a row. Seven and a half remaining. Lundblade at the line for Belmont. First of 2 is around and out. Second one is good. Lundblade with 25 points tonight. Belmont's outscored Murray State by 20 here in the second half. That pass deflected away and stolen by Belmont. Belmont has already passed their season points per game average. That's a little over 82. They're already at 95. And the shot and layup underneath, no good. And back comes Murray State the other way. Doman. Open 3 in the corner is an air ball. And out of bounds it goes to Belmont. Murray State now 5 of 22 from beyond the arc. Jack Smiley returns into the lineup for Belmont, replacing Isaiah West. Rogers. Pass inside to Rogers. Can't get it to go on the layup attempt. And then we're going to have a foul. If that's Brigham Rogers, he's gone. And it is on Rogers. So Rogers will foul out of this game in just 12 minutes. 4 points for Rogers tonight as he fouls out. First free throw up and good. Got them both. 6.5 to go in this one. And there's a steal. Murray State put a little bit of press on and an easy layup. 95-65. Smiley off to Lundblade. Lundblade misses a three, and it is saved. Lundblade will try again. That one's no good either. Off the front rim, rebound pulled down by Murray State. Layup up and in. Well, that looked like it was going to roll out, but it stayed down for Javon Jackson. Corner three-pointer, round and out, offensive rebound, no good. And it's going to go to Murray State. Well, Belmont's missed their last three from outside. Yet they're still over 50% from back there. Timeout called here with 5:37 to go. 95-67 Belmont. $5:37 to go. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining as the Racers will inbound it. Pass goes inside to King, and he dunks it down, but that's not going to count. There was a foul before the shot. Foul's whistled on Charnowski. That's his third. Both teams will be shooting 2 shots the rest of the way on each foul here on out. First is good. Fred King goes to the line with 13 points tonight and make it 14. $95-69. Bounce pass inside, man. Charnowski goes up and missed the dunk. And back comes Murray State the other way. Under 5 minutes to play. Open three-pointer is around and out. Offensive rebound. Layup is good for King. Fred King with 16 tonight for Murray State. And again, another trap, and it forces another turnover. However, they're going to get a foul on Javon Jackson. Ryan Miller cannot believe it on the Murray State sideline. Isaiah West with it. Finds Charnowski. Back outside to young Lundblade. Lundblade to Charnowski. Shot off the backboard is no good. Rebound pulled down by Murray State. Doman. Racers will reset. Go inside. Fred King with a dunk again. That's 18 for King. 95-73. This is a 12-0 run for Murray State. Charnowski with a bounce pass, and the shot inside the paint goes down. 97-73. That stops the 12-0 Murray State run. Lane Taylor with it. Taylor finds a wide open Jackson for three. Javon Jackson puts it in. 97-76. Belmont just going to work on the clock here as we're down to 3 minutes left. Lundblade pulls up and got it. Lundblade with 27 tonight. Doman drives, kicks it outside for an open three, but instead we are going to have a foul. No basket on that three-pointer. 2:37 left. Belmont 99-76 over Murray State. Belmont still at 56% shooting. They have cooled off a little bit here. 52% from three-point range at 12 of 23. Murray State 47% shooting, but just 26% from beyond the arc. Belmont's led tonight by Tyler Lundblade's 27 points. Leading the way for Murray State with 18 is Fred King. But it is the Bruins 2.5 minutes away from winning their 7th in a row and picking up win number 20 and extending their lead in the Missouri Valley Conference to 2 full games. We're going to have a 3-way tie for second place after this game between Bradley, Murray State, and UIC. All three of those teams will be sitting 8-4 in conference play. Casey Alexander about to get win number 160 at Belmont. Murray State, rather, will be at the free throw line. Both teams in the double bonus. First free throw is good. Doman hits them both. 99-78. Press shown by Murray State, and the Bruins break it. 2.5 to go. One blade. And a great pass inside to West. West finds the cutter, Charnowski, who lays it in. And the Bruins crack the century mark. Fred King with it. King not an outside shooter, so he gives it up. Shot clock at 5 for Murray State. We're under 2 minutes. The turnaround for Jackson is too strong. Rebound pulled down by Belmont. And they're going to work their way up the floor. Final 100 seconds. Charnowski. And we are going to have a turnover, it looks like, against Belmont. Eighth of the game. Lane Taylor with it. Taylor inside to Jackson. Jackson spins, puts it up with the right hand off the front of the rim. No, Fred King will follow. He's got 20 points tonight for Murray State. 101-80, final minute. Shot clock down to 10. And we have a reach-in foul. This one's going to go against Doman, I believe. Charnowski at the line for 2. First is long. And Casey Alexander's clearing the bench here. And a big hand from the fans at the Curb Events Center. Two misses at the free throw line. Foul on Belmont. Charnowski, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Looks like he's going to fall 1 assist short of a triple-double. What a performance tonight for Drew Charnowski. And this Belmont Bruins team. 2 free throws are good. And here comes a three-pointer, no good. Rebound pulled down by Murray State. And a breakaway dunk at the other end for Braden Shorter. Keith Robbins with it for Belmont. And like we might have clock issue, maybe? Now we got everything where we like it, and Belmont inbounds. The driving layup is good from Graydon Lemke. And block shot. Murray State gets it. Lane Taylor passes off to Jackson. Jackson throws up an acrobatic shot, no good. The putback is 103-86, and that's going to be your final score. Belmont wins for the 7th time in a row. They move to 20-3 on the season. They are 10-2 in Missouri Valley Conference play, and they have a 2-game lead in the Missouri Valley standings. Murray State falls to 16-7 overall. 8-4 in the Missouri Valley Conference as they drop their 4th in a row. And they now fall into a 3-way tie for 2nd place in the Missouri Valley standings. Run down the final numbers real quick before I sign off for the night. Belmont ends up shooting 56%, 37 of 66 from the floor, 12 of 24, 50% from three-point range. They were 17 of 25 at the free throw line for 68%. Murray State, 29 of 61 shooting, 48%, 6 of 23 from three-point range, 26%, 22 of 26, very good at the free throw line tonight for 85%. Rebounds ended up 33-33. Murray State turned it over 13 times. Belmont turned it over 8 times. Tyler Lundblade, leading scorer tonight for Belmont, 27 points. Drew Sharnowski, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, just 1 assist shy of a triple-double. 15 points apiece off the bench from Ian Dillon and Aiden Noyes. That's the 4 in double figures tonight for Belmont. 9 points out of Jabez Jenkins, 7 points off the bench for Jack Smiley. 5 points out of Isaiah West, 4 points from Brigham Rogers before he fouled out, and 2 points out of Graydon Lemke. For Murray State, they were led tonight by Fred King's 22 points. Roman Dolman added 17 off the bench. 12 points apiece from Javon Jackson and Braden Shorter. That was the 4 in double figures tonight for Murray State. 9 points out of Lane Taylor, 7 points out of J.J. Traynor, 3 points out of Mason Miller, and 2 points apiece off the bench for Mathis Corbin and K.J. Tenner to round out the Murray State scoring tonight. As Belmont wins it 103-86. Once again, Belmont wins their 7th in a row. They improved to 20-3 overall, 10-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Murray State drops their 4th straight, falling to 16-7 overall, 8-4 in Missouri Valley Conference play. Well, that's going to do it tonight on the live stream. Again, my name is John on YouTube, Sports Bonanza John. If you like my content, really would appreciate a like and subscribe. Also on Kick tonight at Sports Kick John, you can follow me there. You can also follow me on Twitch at Sport Guru John. Tentative at this point, but hopefully I'll be back with you tomorrow for that top 10 matchup in Lincoln between Illinois and Nebraska. Should be a good one there. A rematch game as Illinois looking for some payback as Nebraska went to Champaign and won earlier in the year. Illinois would like to return the favor. I appreciate you joining me tonight for this one as Belmont takes a 2-game lead in the Missouri Valley Conference as they win it 103-86. Appreciate you joining me, and maybe see you back here tomorrow afternoon for Illinois and Nebraska. I'll try and keep updated on my page so you can see what exactly the schedule is. But tentatively, hopefully be with you tomorrow for Illinois, Nebraska. Thanks for joining me, everybody, tonight.